are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to D&D. We are still underground in Dentor currently, but we'll see if they can change that pretty soon. We are ready with session 74. But I am joined here by 4 out of 5 lovely people. Sadly, Jazz is unable to make it to this session, but we will be missing her, and hopefully she will be back and all good to go next week. But we are still joined here by Alpha, Helminia, Suzanne, and James, playing respectively Gilgamesh, Rem, Suna, and Zex. I can't really think of much to say before we go into the recap. Let's see. It feels like I have something to say, but honestly, I can't think of it. If it comes to my mind, I will let it fly. But since we're all out of the way with that, let us jump into that nice recap. Last time you guys left off the underground of Dentor, one of the oldest cities in the nation and continent of Papihos. However, you're without Gilgamesh, your barbarian and the champion of Dacaria, as he had gone to plan. Last session was split between Gilgamesh planning with Yenta, the ambassador of war in Greywall, and the 4 of you getting further into the last lair of the underground crypt of Dentor. There you found a large hole, nay, a chasm of an abyss, holding a celestial across it with 4 mighty chains. Across from him and dragging and seemingly farming blood from his celestial form, hooded figures and cultists wearing boars' heads. You defeated the cultists, getting through quite well with the surprise round, and confronted the celestial chained, which you all were suspicious of, and had all the more reason to be suspicious of him when he introduced himself as Papihos, instantly striking recognition with all of you as the name of one of the Ascended. He asked you all what you preferred and how you wished him to be, and actually freed himself from his chains after being declined of you guys getting him out, and talked with each of you. Rem and Zex in person, and Suna mind to mind, offering to help clear her mind of the things that even she is not aware of are even foggy. And all she has to do is pick up a stone next to her foot and squeeze it. Suna picked up this stone, but simply kept it with her, not squeezing it, but not sure if she wanted to let it go either. And where we left off with the 4 of you, you were all spreading out, looking to see what has been left behind by the bodies of those you battled with. Who's looking for what?
I'll check this man in front of me. I obviously see the platinum shield, but I'll see what else he has on him.
Okay. You can roll me a quick investigation check.
Can I have that with advantage since my deity has literally already shook down this man's pockets?
I would say that is probably the best reasoning for an advantage I've heard in a while. So, absolutely.
Those are both really good rolls. Hopefully it sticks. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You kind of look through, and what you find in this man's pockets is one, there's, of course, the shield, like, somewhat in his chest. Beautiful platinum make, studded with different gems along the outside. There is the symbol, which you also know is around his neck and is cracked, and the other half, opposite of your symbol, is filled with this black sludge that was pulled out and then destroyed. But the symbol itself is sundered. It no longer counts as a holy symbol, but it is identical to yours.
Is it identifiable though?
It was identifiable as the same type of symbol as yours.
But if someone came and looked at this now, they wouldn't know what they were looking at.
Unless if they were of the same practice as you, it'd be difficult for them to, but it is possible.
Okay. So I'm gonna put studded platinum shield emblem because I don't want it to be like a big thing. It's a small thing, right?
It's weird because it looks very large, but as you pull it up, it's almost like this weird perception shift. Like you're seeing a camera move across a screen as you pull it up, and it seems to almost shrink into a shield that would be your sized.
Okay, so it's magical. I thought it was like embedded in his skin, like
it was, but
in his chest or something like that.
It was, and it looked very large. But as you grabbed it, you were surprised that it gave away without like any weird ripping or tearing, and it just left his chest.
I thought it was a decoration. It's like it's covering like his whole chest, not just like the center of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the other parts of his anything else on him?
The last thing, because there is something on him. He has a gem, specifically a diamond.
Did I gauge its value with my current money laundering habits?
With your money laundering habits. I'll just say it's a 400 gold piece diamond.
Okay. And then a really quick question. Stone shape doesn't work on diamonds, does it?
No, I do not believe it does. I think it's like soft stone or something like that.
I can get you the exact wording and let you make a ruling, but
I think it's at the very least unworked stone, which this does count. It is worked, even if you're not sure if it's stone or not. That kind of thing.
Okay. All right. I'll look into that. And if he has nothing else, I'll check some of the other cultists, but other than that, I'm good.
Okay. So you can mark all of that. Anyone else got anything that they're dying to search?
I'm searching the hag.
Okay. Well, the hag herself, you can roll a investigation check for.
16.
16. The hag herself has an assorted bit of ingredients for it. Your immediate knowledge is not that intense of it, but Nime, with her cooking kind of skills, kind of comes back and informs you that these are not normal run-of-the-mill ingredients. So they're probably not kosher, whatever they are.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna grab them.
She also has a large, like, meat, like, hammer that looks like it has, like, very shoddy work of grooves driven through it. But it doesn't have runes or anything on it. But although she does not have much on her person, your passive perception is able to very easily pick out that underneath her cauldron, which did not have a fire underneath it at any point, even though the water was boiling, it is worth noting if it is as she had fallen, the water is no longer boiling, but there was never a fire in the first place.
Okay. I guess I'll go check under the cauldron then.
Underneath the cauldron, there is quite a bit. you can see through this cauldron there is a short sword that kind of glows faintly. There is a neatly folded up chain shirt that doesn't quite look like steel. It's a little bit off. And you can see these fingerless gloves that are kind of tucked on top of the chain shirt as well.
I'll just throw them all in the bag for now.
All right.
So fingerless gloves, the chain shirt, and the short sword.
Yep. Anyone that is searching any of the cultists, just let me know, and I'll let you know if they, any of the cultists, if you wish. Any of the boar-headed cultists have one of those chain bolas, to throw. I think one of you got clocked in the head with one of them. And then there's that scythe, that is too long to easily wield. Effectively, it's not a weapon; it's a tool. But other than that, everything else is unremarkable.
You mentioned tossing stuff in the pit, right?
Nothing is going into the pit. This thing is ominous in nature. Entirely. Do not toss anything in the pit.
Can I nonchalantly stare into the pit?
Sure.
I would recommend staring into the void, but you know what? I can't micromanage all your actions.
Anyone else doing anything?
What herbs did the hag have?
They were unidentifiable, but Nime pointed them out and said that they were probably... They're not any normal herbs she could identify, so it is safe to assume that they are not...
These are for something... These are not for herbalistic qualities.
No, these are for...
poison and shit like that.
Maybe poison, and maybe they're just...
no use I can think.
The good old nefarious deeds or the taboos of the people. So.
Is that crushing weight that we felt still here? Does this room still have that, disgusting, ominous feeling?
No, it does not.
And can I Arcana check the hole?
Sure.
I'd like to be guided if I can.
You're able to do
you
that.
want to be inspired too?
No, because you're probably just going to end up identifying the thing anyway.
The hole?
Identify a hole.
That would make a lot
I have
more
to touch the hole to identify it.
You can touch the rim of the hole. There's this little wooden rim that prevents people from being pushed in, right?
Not so much prevents people from being pushed in, but there is the small rim that honestly it's more of a tripping hazard than a protection. It does not go up far. It is enough to be a tripping hazard and nothing else.
My Arcana check is come on, math.
You've got this.
31.
31. So the hole itself, you're looking for runes. You're looking for different things of that intent. Something that would invoke cast magic, anything like that. And you do see, not on the hole, but the chains themselves on the edges had small runic markings in them. But the hole itself does not. However, as you are looking into the hole, it is a thing of this hole if you could get a sensation of something looking bottomless, this is it.
I'm tossing a copper coin into the hole.
Doesn't listen.
The coin kind of tumbles and falls. You were asking something about the chains?
I was gonna say, like, were these here initially? Like, was this all built together, or did the whole exist and then the chains were added?
It looks like the chains were added. If it does not, like, the chains look way older, or not way older. The chains do not look nearly as old as the hole. The hole seems way older.
They newer compared. Okay. I'm also backing up when he tosses that coin down. I told him not to.
Yeah,
Let's
you
see what
just
happens.
Kind of see it just kind of spiral down, and Zex, you're leaning over and you're watching as it just spins and spins and spins. The glinting of it, just kind of shining off as it slowly just disappears in.
Cool.
Okay.
Hey. I guess I'll back up then. Nothing happened.
Why don't you try identifying it?
I guess I could try. Is it feasible for me to identify something like this?
I mean, you could certainly try.
I must touch it throughout the casting of the spell. I can't identify this fucking pit. I can't touch it.
The wooden area around it constitutes as the pit.
I'm going to do it as a ritual because I don't want to waste a spell slot because I know this probably isn't going to work. But I guess I'll try.
Okay. Is anyone else doing something as Zex begins to sit down and prepare this ritual, I guess? Anything from Suna? Anything?
Nope.
Look over this platinum shield I have.
Sure.
I can attempt to Arcana check it.
I wouldn't even say it needs an Arcana check. It just, you can tell that this has some sort of magical presence.
Yeah, because it's shrunk.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious in that way.
I'll have to identify it later.
Okay. Zex.
Yeah.
You have a high passive perception, don't you?
Yeah, I have a 22.
Oh, I don't like that.
You begin to hear this slow, low, earthly rumble. And just ever so slightly, as you're like sitting on the edge of this hole, a vibration is coming. And you look down and there's something like slowly flying back up. This small overturning thing that is weaving through. And before you can even realize it, and the rest of you see, right next to where Zex is sitting, this small like sheet of parchment flitters out of the hole and rests on Zex's lap.
Cool.
Zex, as you look at it, it is a wonderfully drawn picture of a man, bald, a purple tattoo on the side of his face, kind of this wide grin, heavy jaw, muscles on his shoulders, and it's just like a bust picture, so it ends there.
Does this dude look normal? Or not normal?
Yeah, he looks normal.
Like, do I recognize him?
Oh no, not at all.
Is this like a good portrait though?
Yeah, it looks immaculate. Like if you saw someone draw that, they'd be like, you somehow took, like, you could imagine, unless if this was just a freehand portrait, this is as lifelike as a sketching could go.
It's going in the bag.
Okay.
What's
Lifelike
the
sketching.
Cool. Does the identify work?
The identify goes off. The hole does not return any magic
Whoa.
to you.
Miraculous. I'm throwing another copper coin in.
Bling. Make sure to mark those off.
I have been, yeah.
Would you like to roll a D100 for me?
Sure, I'll roll a D100 for you. 64.
64. Bling. As you see the coin go in and then rocket out. As you you see a coin rocket out, hit the ceiling of this place, and then just land kind of rolling on the ground, and you can see it's a like bent copper piece.
Not spendable?
If you wanted to spend it.
Sure, I'll spend it. I'll just put it back with the rest of my
You have
money.
a bent copper piece now. But it got thrown out of the hole so fast that it bent when it hit the ceiling. And again, all of you see this.
That's enough to pierce flesh.
But it didn't.
But that's enough to pierce flesh.
What do I have that I can toss in here?
Stop throwing things down there. Do I know of anything of this from a religious standpoint at all? Do I have heard of anything like this?
This is not something that has come across your mind in religion.
This is way beyond anything of my comprehension.
This is incomprehensible, even.
Wow, I have this spell scroll that's worth literally nothing.
A spell scroll of?
Mage hand. I'm tossing it in.
The paper just
That's
flitters
the
open.
last thing, please.
Let's have you. See, this is interesting. Let's.
Why is it interesting?
No, just go ahead and roll a D100 again.
Okay.
Oh my god.
It's interesting.
35.
35. Okay. You
get a
hear
violent
this
breeze.
this sound as a small bottle topped with leather and a fine like twine over it goes up and then lands clinking on the ground and then rolling about half a foot away from you.
I'll pick it up. What does it look like?
It just you can feel a like this liquid slosh around, but it is like bottled tightly.
Can I identify the liquid? I'll use a spell slot because I don't want to waste 10 minutes.
Sure.
It's piss.
It's piss. God, I should know the exact thing. It doesn't
Brother in Christ, you made the hole.
perspective of how to use them. If it's magical, it is not magical.
It's not magical?
It is not magical.
Can I pop the top and sniff it?
Yeah.
Oh,
You pop the top off and you smell it, and it smells soapy.
It's soapy.
let me see that.
Sure, I'll cap it and toss it around.
I'm going to attempt to identify it with my herbalism skills.
Okay. As you pull it off and you look, there are little bubbles that have kind of formed over it. And you look through it, roll a intelligence check. You can add your proficiency to it.
That's a 17.
17. It's a type of soap. Like a really minor soap. And it's like you can like as you move it around, it bubbles as you kind of like shift it. Nothing intense. It's not even like an intense soap. It's
I
just
guess it's worth.
not much. Like maybe like a couple silver.
I'll let him know what it is.
Okay, I'll take it back. Look at the bag. Bottle of soap.
I'm glad we didn't have another. It appears to be a wooden box situation.
Appears to be.
We're different now. We have
It appears to be so.
technology.
Does someone else want to toss something in?
Nope.
I'm gonna
Okay.
toss a vial of holy water down
Ah.
from a safe distance.
All right. So probably like
what did
10
you
feet
just
away.
say?
You huck a bottle of holy water. Roll me a D100.
It's not outwardly dangerous at this moment in time.
Mark off your holy water.
I am.
And I hope, Zex, you marked off your scroll.
Yeah, I
I'm-
did.
I'm guessing what's going on here. But nothing else is going down here until we go talk to the man upstairs. He might know something about it. His ancestors made the shit. 17.
17.
Cthulhu begins
A-
clapping his ass cheeks out of rally.
Zex, who's still looking over the hole, can see the small disc begin kind of like floating upwards. And you watch as like a porcelain plate comes out of the hole and floats over to Rem and softly sets itself on the floor in front of you.
Could I examine and guess the worth of this porcelain plate?
It would look like it would be like maybe some copper. It's not worth a lot.
So it's not giving equivalent exchange.
It is not.
So this feels like a cosmic trash can.
More
So I
like
know
a
what I'm throwing
cosmic
in next.
thrift shop.
So without,
Both are very good
Is
ways
there a
of thinking
way-
about it.
is there a way for me to pull out the gem of engorgement from the bag of holding without focusing on it?
You've held it without focusing on it, so technically, yes.
I mean, basically, you could have it covered in a cloth, basically like the small leather cloth that bears had it in, and then you could like shake out the cloth like you're shaking out a rug or a sheet into the hole.
Well, it's in the bag of holding right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would say just make a quick dexterity check for me. If you
I
want to,
start
if you want to
choking on
throw it
this
in,
fucking stone.
yeah. If you want to just throw it in quickly, it'd just be like a quick, just
Dex check, you said?
dex check.
Not a save?
Not a save.
Okay.
Mhm.
17.
17, easy enough. You are throwing it in the pit.
Yeah.
It throws in the pit. Roll me a D100.
the
Come on.
pit
Big
begins
money.
to choke.
Big money. Big money. 98.
Oh, 98. Big numbers. Gotcha. Okay. Zex, make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no!
Fucking great.
I told you to
That's-
stop playing with holes, boy! I told you!
Natural 20 for a total of 28.
As all of you see this of a bunch of yellow straw come out, Zex looks up and darts out of the way as this massive hay bale slams down where Zex was a moment ago. Just covered, and it just pours hay for like a good 20 seconds as all of you just kind of stare in awe, and then it stops.
I lied, I love the hole. I lied.
Can I look for a needle in the haystack?
You may roll me an investigation check.
Be guided.
Only 7.
As you kind of look through, like pushing straw and hay aside, and you find a small iron needle in the haystack.
I'm keeping this needle.
All right.
Okay, we've had our fun. Start gathering up these bodies in one corner, please.
Come on, you don't want to check more stuff in this?
I think we've had a perfect amount of fun with the ominous Eldritch Hole,
I'm
and
gonna-
I think it's a good place to just call it quits. I think hay is a perfect place to say, you know what, it was fun, and stop.
Wouldn't this be the greatest place to dispose of Tulam's notes, though?
No, it would not. I can tell you, I'm going to show you exactly what you can do with Tulam's notes. Help me gather these dudes up.
I'll help him gather these dudes up. I'll put him wherever he wants.
I'm gonna put
I'll
them over
help
here.
with that.
You drag people into the far corner, layering boar bodies on top of cult robes, on top of massive fat lunch ladies, on top of skeleton bones, until they are gathered in a massive pile of bodies and bones.
Cover your mouths.
I'm just gonna back over to the other side of the room. I have a guess what he's doing.
It's not often you'll see me do this, because it's not my popular method, but I have done it every now and again. So this is a lot more unseemly, but I can't risk having these be down here and pushed into this hole. And I'm going to light my special Molotov and light these bitches up.
Easy enough to do. As you do it, there's a small green tinge to the fire after you throw, and it lights up, catching and burning bone as well as flesh. And you're right, the smell is awful.
I'll give them a prayer, make a religion check for it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But you want me to make that religion check for the prayer or just run it?
No, you're fine. And the body is alight. And I may ask, what is next?
Soon as jumping into the hole, apparently.
I'm joking.
We could throw more stuff in here.
No, I think
Or I have another really great idea. We could leave.
What was underneath this cauldron here? Like, what was lighting it? Or was it just like a
It was not lit
create
at any
bonfire
point.
bullshit?
It was not lit at any point. That was something that was mentioned.
The cannon, I guess. Are there any scraps on it I can take back home for our cannon?
Nothing that would help your cannons. It's been shot, destroyed, caught on fire. It is messed up in the best of ways.
No. Can I take any scrap home for Gil?
I'd say if you
This
guys...
is a metal monstrosity.
if
This
you-
is a lot of scrap.
If you wanted to take a couple pounds of scrap iron, you could.
Okay. How many
Okay.
pounds are here?
In total, I'm gonna see how many you guys managed to shave off. There are 11 total pounds of scrap iron for you guys to carry if you wish to.
Easily fit all that in my bag of holding.
So
Easily.
you are welcome
Okay.
to.
Everyone gather around me.
I guess we'll gather to Zex.
All right.
And assuming everyone's gathered, I'm gonna...
We should go back to the manor to speak with him and then go home. I have something else I want to do down here before we go home now.
Tell me what you want to do down here before I send us places.
I'm going to go seal up the hole on the first floor so they can't make their way back down the stairs. You remember the thing that I reinforced with the door? I'm going to seal that shut so no one can get past.
All right. Whatever. I'll teleport. Give me the map.
Of?
You,
Not you, Rem. I need the map.
I don't have the map. You do.
You didn't give me the map.
Yes, I did. You're the cartography guy. You have the map. You've been the map man the whole time.
All right, whatever. Map.
Do I look like I got the skills for this?
Using that as my associated object, I'll teleport back up to the castle.
All right, easy enough. As you all kind of stand around, and then Zex just kind of breathes something to himself, and you all and are gone. And then in the same instant, with the surge of air and breath, resurge, and you are outside in the cold, damp air of a portside town outside of the Castle Dentor.
But it feels only like a portside town now.
Yes, it is cold and it is humid it's cold and wet, not humid. Humid implies heat. Cold and wet, but it is not a dark oppression anymore.
Love Boston.
It is Dentor's just Boston. As you all teleport out.
I assume people haven't started returning yet. It's too early for that.
People have not happened to have returned.
You guys want to go with me to seal this shit up and then we'll meet with the Lord, or?
Let's do the Lord first.
Fine.
All right. As you all kind of make your way there, you kind of enter in and are just looking around, and eventually you can find him in very close to the main room, the reception-esque area where way back when Zex and April had actually snuck through. And where the teleportation circle rests at the top, you can see Lord Triton sitting behind there, just kind of mumbling to himself. And he just kind of looks up at you, and you realize, all of you, that he just kind of doesn't... It takes him a second to even acknowledge that you guys are here. Because this is the first time that someone has come back in so long.
We're just built different.
Job's done.
Why is boss music playing? We about to fight Lord Triton?
Lord Triton pulls off his shirt. He's fucking jacked, and he...
Oh, Lou! Chieftain of the Badlands!
Boss bar appears.
Loki, though, why the music hit like this? I feel...
I don't know.
I had it muted. Now I feel like I'm about to get my ass blasted. Let me turn that back off.
Here, I'll swap it for
Shit makes
you
me
guys.
nervous.
I'll get it for you guys. I did not think that this would be boss music, but
We'll save it for later, though.
yeah,
It'll work.
Great
dragon fighting music.
Great dragon music. That is a wonderful. So we will put that in our back pocket.
Put this away for 2 weeks.
Put this away for
or so.
An amount of time.
Might be next week. We don't know.
See what you guys do.
I hope.
But Lord Triton just kind of looks at you guys in disbelief, and then this crossed of just tired joy. And this is the face of a man who has gone through so much and is struggling to even believe that it's over. But he still rises and just, oh, I thank you. It is... What What ailed my dear city for so long?
Cultist.
And to think I was so foolish. Vagabonds would be able to stow away under my nose for so long.
Not normal cultist.
I sincerely thank you. I had given to the ambassadors themselves the actual reward, but I can offer you my sincere thanks. I will not be forgotten easily.
I am going to go and seal that entire thing up, by the way. So, hope you're okay with that.
I will not stop you. It has caused pain for so long, but I'd rather the city and the castle put it behind us and move forward, rather than fall to waste and ruin. My sincerest thanks to all of you.
How many layers of exhaustion does this man have? Levels of exhaustion.
He looks tired. You don't know the exact amount, but he's got some.
How could I understand? How would I gain that knowledge?
It's easy to tell he's tired. The exact, I don't think, is something that can be gauged. Okay. But you do know he is bone tired. That would be the words I'd use to describe him.
Yes, a king.
Someone who is worked to the bone. And it's a man who's been filling in for tens of people for the castle staff and shouldering the burden of hundreds, possibly thousands leaving, as it is not an easy burden to bear.
Not sure how much we can do in regards to repopulating the town, but
that is unnecessary. It is my duty as lord of this land to prove and to send my word out. You have done all you've needed to, and I am eternally grateful.
You don't have any more business here, do we? Anything else?
I have nothing to do here.
Mm-hmm. So you guys watch Lord Triton just sits back down at the desk, and you can see he pulls out a new sheet of parchment, grabs a quill, and begins scratching something across the paper. It seems he started on something anew.
Oh. So I stepped out for a moment. He paid us in exposure?
No, he said that he said that the reward is at Greywall.
Okay.
As he had sent it to them for safekeeping. It's not hard to tell that he probably has almost nothing of worth left in the castle. As he had he had probably paid people first in gold and platinum, and then in heirlooms, and then whatever he has placed out there has probably been among his last. This is someone who was on his last legs.
That's fair.
But you guys are free to go and return to where you need and do what you wish to do.
I'm gonna go seal up this place.
Mm-hmm.
After that, can we go home?
Unfortunately not, because I'm all out of spell slots.
You gotta stay for one more
Hey,
night.
one more night.
You used your 6th level spells?
True seeing.
I can't. Can I? Can I spend double points to give Zex a spell slot?
Zex needs a 5th, 6th, or 7th level spell slot.
How many points? How many points would that be?
A lot.
Oh, what?
I have a lot.
I think it would be like, what, 20? I think it's 2 per slot that you have to create. Something like that.
Let me pull up the conversion.
So probably not. But we will say, if you all wish, for the sake of expediency, the 4 of you, tired, accompany Rem as he seals the door to the crypt of the underground of Dentor.
I'm sealing it twice. The door that goes down the stairs.
Okay.
And the actual front door. Like, I'm sealing this shit all the way closed.
Mm-hmm. And then with that, you guys go back to Tiber's Inn for one more night. Is that good for all of you?
Works for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
This man runs an inn now?
He's actually an exotic dancer.
Oh.
He's changed his ways. What can I tell you?
Wow, what a change.
With your face getting beaten by a mace in holy water, I don't know, it does stuff, man. So, however, this will be a good section for all of you guys to officially level up. So, sadly, Jazz is not here, but we will go through everyone. So, we'll start over on the left side. Rem, care to explain to people what your plan is?
I'm just gonna go straight into cleric. I'm just gonna keep riding the train.
Okay.
I don't get anything new. I can kill higher level undead with my turn, but I don't really have anything special going on. I don't want to roll, but I will for like.
Well, it's also just a thing for people to know whether you've rolled or taken average.
I'll roll, but like, what were the rules of this? If I roll a 1, I can either roll again or what?
If you roll a 1, you can either end it and take the average, or you can roll again, but you have to keep the other one. So if you roll Snake Eyes, you get the 1.
All right. I rolled slightly over average, so I got a 6. I'll take it.
So with your con, that would be 9
That puts me
new
up to
health.
115.
115.
Yeah, that's my old health. Good
For
job.
level 14 cleric. All right. Next up, we have our Zex.
So I'll roll.
All right.
I got
What
a
level are you taking?
7. Bard.
Bard. All right.
I got a 7 on that.
7. So 7 plus 1 for your con. 8 total.
111.
111. Anything else you're getting with your level?
I get my subclass capstone and magical secrets, so more spells.
Would you like to tell people what you're taking, or are you good?
You know, I think I'll... Okay, no, it's fine. I'm getting rid of Hold Person for Hold Monster, and then I'm taking Disintegrate and Steel Wind Strike.
Sick. All right. And now we go to Suna. Suna is probably one of the more interesting because it's whether it's sorcerer or fighter.
I'm excited for this level. So I'm taking my 8th level in sorcerer.
Alright.
And then it's an ASI or a feat, and I decided to take a feat.
Okay.
I just decided to take Meta Magic Adept, so I have like 10 sorcery points. So
Nice.
I rolled a 3.
You rolled a 3, which is not bad for a sorcerer dice d6, but you also have
Yeah.
a +4 con, so you get 7, and so that would put you to 122, I believe.
Sweet. Sounds right.
Sounds right. So
115 plus 7.
122.
122.
And finally, the first thing he said, I don't think Gil is actually here right now. I don't think Alpha is present. So we might have to stick with those for the moment.
We can have Zex identify this shield before we go to bed.
Zex?
Sure. I'll use a spell slot.
All right. As you touch it, and there's an immediate flash of knowledge that comes through for you. Because this is a large amount of power and energy. Only time that you've had it be this intense was with two things, I believe. When you identified the voice, and I believe it's when you also identified the hand of the Chieftain. As this is a heavily, heavily magical shield called the Guardian of Death. It is a magical shield +3, which requires attunement. The wielder of the shield gains resistance to necrotic damage. As a reaction, whenever they are struck by a melee attack, they can deal 2d6 force damage to the attacker. And they have two features, Gravewalker and Selfless Repose. Gravewalker, whenever the wielder is reduced to 0 HP, they are instead reduced to 1 HP, like an Endurance, and everything within 5 feet takes 2d6 radiant damage. Once it's been used, it can't be used again until a long rest has been taken. And then finally, Selfless Repose. As an action, the wielder can roll their hit dice and add the number rolled to the ally's health, to any ally's health within 30 feet.
Yeah, I think it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Is that being conveyed to me?
Yes.
Can I have that whole thing?
Yeah.
In like a text block?
A
So
text block as you wish.
if I tune to this, it's the 2 from the shield +3?
It technically counts as a +5 to your AC instead of a +2 from a normal shield.
All of this requires attunement, though.
Yes. To get anything from the shield, you have to attune to it.
Except like just the regular +2.
Yes. You can wield it as a normal shield without attuning to it, but if you want the +3, the necrotic damage resistance, and the 3 other features it has, you have to attune and be wielding the shield. You can't have it on your back.
Okay. All right. I guess I'll drop the attunement on.
You have a choice to make now.
Is it time to let go of the wand of fireballs? Is it time? I'll unattune from my ring of spell storing for now. And I'll put down the spell that's inside of it. It's a greater restoration.
Okay.
And then attune to the shield.
Can he be snowboarding on the shield for it to still have the features?
It would at least give him necrotic resistance if he's snowboarding on the shield. For if he hits a blighted tree or something. So I believe, if you attune to the shield rem, this puts you up to a 23 AC.
It does, yes.
All right. As the final thing, as you guys are all within a room, basically, of Tiber's Inn, and Rem has been focusing on it for the hour required for attunement, you guys are having a time. You watch as you finish focusing on the shield, Rem, and you feel a warm presence. And you look, and although the outside of the shield is decorated, the inside is just blank platinum. And you watch as slowly you see the symbol of the weeping eye slowly emerge onto the shield.
Oh. Representation. Does it now count as a holy symbol?
I'll have to think about that. No one, believe it or not, I have not been asked that question.
Because if it does, I can now cast with that in my hand.
Mm-hmm. I'll get back to you on that. But with that, the night passes you by. Unless if there was any other magic trades or identifications that wish to be done.
Yeah, while he's attuning to the shield, I wanted to identify these other 3 things that I have in the bag.
All right. Pick your favorite.
Chainmail.
Chainmail. It is a mithril chain shirt. It has the benefits of mithril, as in if someone is wearing it, they don't have disadvantage on stealth, and is exceptionally light. But relatively unremarkable compared to the shield.
Let's do the gloves.
These are the gloves of thievery. Non-attunement, whoever is wearing the gloves will get advantage on sleight of hand checks.
Are they? You said they're non-attunement?
I do not believe that they are attunement.
I'm putting those on right now.
Okay. And finally, the short sword, I believe.
Yep.
That is a moon-touched blade. So it is a unattunement short sword.
Okay.
However, you can will it to cast bright light in a 15-foot radius and dim light for 15 feet.
The sword is not attunement based, or it has to be attuned to?
It is not attunement based. None of these items are attunement. It is a mithril chain shirt, a gloves of thievery, which Zex's put on, and then the moon touch short sword.
I believe I can technically use the short sword, unless you guys want to do something else with it.
Whoever wants it can have it. Did Suna want this long sword of wounding as well?
Yeah, I can take that.
So
I
I'll
can...
give Suna the +2 long sword of wounding, and I'll give Rem the moon-touched blade.
Okay. So, yes, Suna, that is a long sword of wounding.
Okay.
Does this count as a magic weapon?
Yes, it does. It just doesn't have any pluses to it.
But it does count as magic and provide casting resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Does it? It doesn't need attunement, does it?
It does not.
Cool. Out of slots. I
Wait,
believe.
the long sword of wounding.
Oh, the long
doesn't
sword
it?
of wounding requires an attunement slot.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, I'll double check that for you real quick.
I cannot use the short sword. I was wrong. I thought short swords were simple weapons. They are not. I cannot use this.
So
I
your
can take
sword
it.
of
Zax
wounding,
doesn't want it.
yeah, your sword of wounding requires attunement. But it's a +2 weapon. And
Does the scarf require attunement, or am I wrong on that?
the scarf does require attunement.
Okay.
You have a lot.
But
Suna has a lot of things that
we
require
drop.
attunement.
You don't need those gloves of missile snag anymore. But you can give those to, like, Mime or something. I don't even think Mime has attunement slots left, though.
No, I don't think any of you have attunement slots left. I'll be real.
Oh,
Gil has boots, Hand of the Chieftain, and the cloak.
and then yeah. So I have the gloves, the sunglaive, the sword, and then the dragon scarf.
So you have to.
I guess I'll drop the gloves and
Attuned to a sword.
take the sword.
All right.
So, does
And,
someone want the moon-touched blade, or am I just putting it back in the bag for now?
We can sell it or something, or just put it aside, because I can't use it.
I mean,
None
I
of
can
you other
take it.
need it, so.
I mean,
I was gonna say it should be really taken by like Suna or Nime since they don't have dark vision.
True.
yeah.
That's your choice.
If Suna wants it, she can have it.
I'll take it for now.
Yeah.
I'm guessing what Nina would say. She'd say, "Why would I need that when I have a gun?"
I've gun! Load silver bullets.
I was so upset when she used that in the slime. I'm like, you don't need that, but like, why not? Fuck it, right?
You don't know whether maybe the slime's vulnerable to silver.
Shit, exactly. Fucking
Is
why
this
not?
Was it? No. But could it have been? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not impossible.
oh, fuck.
All right. Well, are we taking the long rest now?
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
You guys take your rest. And if there's nothing else the next day, you guys are able to teleport.
I'll use the teleport spell to just go to the castle circle.
Okay, the Greywall Castle circle.
Yeah.
Okay. And with that, Rem, Zex, Suna, and Nime disappear from Tiber's Inn, leaving Dentor behind. And as we look back in on Greywall, Gil. We have something to resolve.
We do?
Level 14, baby.
Oh. Poggers?
So, Gil, everyone else has already leveled
Yeah?
up. What are you taking?
Well, let me tell you. I'm going to take my second level in fighter.
All right. Gaining action surge.
Not second wind.
Not second wind, you already got that. But please, are you taking average or are you rolling your d10?
Oh, please. You think I'm gonna average?
We
I always
have
roll.
someone in the party that averages, no shame in it.
I would feel shame.
Okay, roll a 2 and keep it. Roll a 2.
Isn't the rule if you roll a 1, you can re-roll it?
Yes.
That's my personal thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
Roll a 2
Which I
and
really
keep
like.
it, loser.
I'm gonna roll a 10 and you're gonna start crying.
I kind of want this. What?
I got close. I rolled an
Okay.
8.
8? Okay.
So it would be
So 10
8
be
plus
with your plus 2,
9.
right?
Yeah. That's honestly
134.
134. I'm just beefy. I don't know what y'all want me to say.
And however, Gil, as you are waking up after a long day and night of planning and going through these strategy maps and then going back to the keep, you wake up. It's a standard morning. And as you kind of head downstairs, you're just grabbing some meat and bread and cheese, nothing too fancy for breakfast, meat. And you hear a knock at the door.
I guess I'll put my food items down and go check the door.
Okay. The door swings open inward, and with it you can see a familiar form of Terra.
Oh.
Gil, do you have a second?
I don't see why not.
She nods and just steps in, kind of brushing past your shoulder.
Guess I'll close the door and follow behind her.
As she doesn't move too far, only a couple of paces over to the chair, and she stops and kind of rests her hand on it. I would like you to roll an insight check.
Insight check. Is it about me, or is she gonna confess her love? Well, let's find out. It's a natural 20.
She looks hurt. She
Not like emotionally hurt.
emotionally hurt.
Okay.
She looks
We
like
missed that
someone.
whole situation.
She looks like someone who looked like she was angry, and then someone who had pulled herself together and is doing her damnedest to hide it. With a DC of 18 that you passed. But you know her a little bit. You can see her shoulders like tense, and she's not looking at you. As she's just looking around and just breathing slowly.
I'm just gonna wait for her to say something. I mean, she's the one who's got business here, not me.
How have the past few days been, Gil?
Uneventful. I've been planning the assault with Yenta, but other than that, the rest of the group has been God knows where, really.
Do you feel like you have that all covered? Do you?
I'd like to think I have it covered, but it seems there's no real way to know.
And so every angle that you've thought of has been meticulously planned and thought about. Nothing has been left out to dry.
I'd like to think not. I've been planning with a couple others, so we've had multiple minds on this. Different angles, if you would.
Yes. Others. God.
Is there a problem?
And she's like in the middle of just like wiping the side of her head, and she stops. Do you not trust me, Gil? Do you harbor something against me?
I'd like to think those are two different things. I don't trust nearly anyone, but I have no quarrels with you.
The last time you and I had a good conversation, Gil, I turned down the option for that ambassador to recruit me into his forces. Do you remember why?
You were scared of losing people.
Yes. I did not want Tyron to get hurt. However, I have my eyes and ears about. I would think... No, I would expect Tyron to keep it from me, but... Why didn't you... Did it not come to your mind once that I would want to know if Tyron is... if he's involved? I have not left Greywall since I last spoke to you, and no one, you didn't send anyone, you didn't come yourself? Tyron hid this from me as long as he could. And I would have thought you would have at least warned me.
I didn't think he'd be one to hide it from you. I'd like to think that the bond you two share is... I wouldn't say significantly stronger than the one between you and I, but that feels like the best way to explain it. I thought that he would have some sort of decency to let you know. I'm sorry.
Still have my arms around me. I've kept him safe for years now. I break my arm once and he's worried about me, trying to keep my eyes and ears out of things. I've heard the talk. I know that you're in charge of most of this. You and that ambassador. Where'd you put him? Where's Tyron going?
He's fighting on the ground. I figured that his skill set would be best used against the masses.
I just don't understand why he doesn't... Why no one... I can't keep him safe anymore.
And I will. I know you're not willing to go out, And that's fine by me. I'm not gonna make you by any reason or sort. But I am willing to go out. I'll stake my life on this. It's seemingly what I've been training for my whole life. So if you can't be the one to keep him safe, then I will.
I know I couldn't stop you from going out, but I thought I could keep him safe. He looks up to you too much. He's a damn fool. It's me in my mind thinking that you and him are working together to keep things from me. It's just he's scared. I don't want... It's the day that I do not want to come. I'm afraid you're all going to leave me behind and there will be nothing left. Everyone you've recruited. I bide my time. I look for an opportunity. I wait until I am more likely than not to win. I do not leave my fate up to a coin flip. This is worse than that. This is blind hope. This is blind trust in you. And she, like, pushes off of the chair, just, my mind got the better of me. I shouldn't have disturbed you. You carry on with your day, Gil. And she just kind of pushes and tries to, like, crank open the door and step out.
I'm gonna stop her from opening the door.
And she's, like, not focused and it just closes shut.
Do you trust me?
I want to.
And on my life, Tyron will make it back. I'm not one to make empty promises to people, or for the promises to not be fulfilled. I promise you that he will make it back safe. I cannot promise he will be unharmed, but he will make it back.
All right. I should take a page out of Tyron's book. Maybe a little bit of blind hope isn't so bad.
I'll give her a hug. I'll give her a hug.
You, as you kind of embrace her from the side, you can just kind of feel like all of this pent up emotions of anger and sadness and worry, responsibility just kind of almost drain from her as her shoulders slacken. And she's just like almost limp in your arms as this long breath is drawn from her body.
It has become my duty to protect every single soul that goes out onto that field. And I intend to make sure that we get our job done one way or another.
She just kind of gulps and nods and slowly, softly pulls away from your arms, opens the door slowly, stands in the open doorway for a second. As the fresh morning air just kind of peels out into the room, she lets out this long sigh, and you can see it kind of shake her frame a little bit. And you can now freely on display tell this means so much to her. And then she walks out, leaving you standing in the empty doorway.
I'm gonna grab my bread, my meat, and my cheese, and I'm gonna make my way to Yenta. I seem to have some rearranging to do.
Okay. And that's where we pick up as you move through, and as you guys teleport in the morning and Gil is out for early morning's planning and scheduling. Gil, as you are passing through, as throughout these days, Tenfin has actually been just back and forth talking with you. And besides Yenta and every once in a while the Arbiters, Tenfin is the face you're seeing the most. As he just kind of moves through and is kind of taken in all these instructions and ran different orders of telling people where they are on the ship. And people are beginning to gather. Because, as you know, things are beginning to ramp up.
Oh, I know.
You can see constantly, every 10 minutes, there's a couple exercises with the dragon, like the dragon sky riders coursing overhead. You can hear the shouts from there. You can see Eric Cochran's soldiers like flying and dotting the sky by the airship port. There is seemingly less and less time every day, and no one is more aware of that fact than you. But as you do this, you step out and you can see, stepping out from the teleportation circle room, with you guys not having to show your IDs this time as you show up, as people are beginning to like pick out and recognize you, the guards. Rem, Zex, Suna, and Nime. And all of you turn towards, you can see not much has changed about a lot of them, although they all look a little weary from teleportation travel. Rem, customarily a little bit queasy, but Rem himself has a platinum shield attached to his side. Very new on that. But other than that, everything else seems in order, and the rest of you see Gil with some food, more of raw ingredients in his hands as he is striding towards all of you.
Hi, Gil.
How was your vacation?
And Tenfin is there too.
Hardly a vacation. I mean, I'm just gonna kind of keep walking. Really, I'm not, I have things to do, people to talk with.
So I'll follow.
All right, you guys kind of follow in step. Gil is currently with what you guys recognize as Tenfin, a sergeant of the Greywall Guard. But
is Tenfin telling me anything like important or interesting? Anything?
No, he's just basically walking alongside you, ready to kind of take notes. And every once in a while, as the rest of you are there now, every once in a while, you pass by a window and can see people training in the courtyard. And and then as all of you kind of move past, you go into the strategy room, which, Gil, you are now intimately familiar with. As there are some people there today. As there is Yenta, as you expect. As Yenta has practically lived in this office, this room. Yeah. There is a man with a crimped hat, which is Jensen. As he has a box set on the table with all these seemingly cans, like these metallic cylinders. And then there is Goran, which all of you immediately recognize. And they all kind of look, and Yenta just kind of gives you a nod and immediately goes back to talking with Goran. And Jensen, all of you can see, just kind of cracks a bit of a grin and is like, right, I have something to depart on you, dear champion. And he scoots this box over and begins pulling out these different cans with different, like, dyed strings on them. And he...
Strings?
Like, strings.
Oh.
And he then takes out a small cylinder, and he then screws that cylinder onto what looks like the bottom part of Nime's firearm. And then breaks it open. And kind of checks it, unbreaks the our object, and then spins it around with the trigger and holds out the handle to you.
To me?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, does this...
It is small in your hand, but you could technically use it. These...
It would just be a tight fit.
And these single-shot flares. I've taken a page out of magic book, but as not all of us are able to do that, this would be a good way for us to communicate with ground troops and skyriders.
Then why might we need to do that?
Well, in case if we're fucking dying, tell them that all is lost. Or, if on the army they clear the ground, to let us know that they do not need assistance.
Fair enough.
I'm keeping one in reserve, and he kind of grabs it back out of your hand and flips it for myself, and giving one to someone you're dedicating to the ground. And then I would actually think, and he actually kind of like pulls out another one of them, and he throws it to Nime, as Nime grabs and catches it, just in case I have a bit of a tumble.
Speaking of ground troops, and I'll turn to Yenta. Yenta, the word?
Of course.
And I'll kind of lead away from everybody else.
And you guys the four of you are left with Jensen and Goran as Gil pulls Yenta off to the side. Yes?
Some plans have been changed, and I'm stationing myself on the ground.
You sure?
Positive. If you'd like to move some ground troops up to the ship in my stead, that's alright, but this is non-negotiable.
This is quite a wrench in what we've made and structured over the past week.
Don't overvalue me too much.
I think you're undervaluing yourself. I'm not a fool. I'm a master in man-to-man tactics as well. And although I've trusted you with the broad strokes, I would caution you to rethink this. What has brought this around, Gil? Champions deserve glory, do they not?
I believe they do.
You'll be sorely missed.
There may be another alternative, but keep the plan as it is. And if things truly do change, I will let you know. And I'm actually gonna go and find Tyron, wherever he is.
He's gonna grab your shoulder as you turn around. Gilgamesh, I may offer you one word of counsel. At the beginning of this week, you told me there was no such thing as too few people on that ship. I would still gladly change almost all of them out to have you aboard. Do not undervalue yourself, champion. And he lets you go.
I'll walk out. I'll go find Tyron.
Okay.
Damn.
Are we still in the planning room and everything?
Yeah, you can see them having this, and they're just a bit away from you.
Behind.
Am I hearing it?
He specifically, I think he specifically was saying he's taking you out of earshot.
I was gonna say I moved Yento away, so this was like a personal conversation.
Yeah. So
is he out of passive 2022 perception?
I'm pretty sure Alpha was saying out of the room. I just, as a DM, just like, you pull him aside. But
I don't mind it.
Just enough.
Their stuff. But you can see Gil kind of beginning to walk past you, all of you.
I want to talk with Yenta.
All right. You're able to kind of go up to him as he's kind of stepping back up to this map, and you can see that this is like a rough sketch of a larger version of the map of the scattered woods to the north. And he's picking over it, and you can see a section set aside and marked with battle, like small figures for battle, and then over several spaces away from this battle, a cutout of an airship and a rough cutout of a dragon. As this is a battle map.
So I'm assuming I have no clue what any of this means.
It's a war map. You don't know what. Besides the airship and the dragon, everything else you do not understand what it means. Like, you don't understand what this figure means or this figure means, but like, that's obviously a dragon. That's obviously a skyship.
I'm a different part of running the state than this.
As he just kind of looks at you. Yes.
I had a thought while I was in the crypt of Dentor.
And it is a pleasure to see, as he kind of eyes go over all of you returned. You've been sorely missed in the upcoming battle.
The work there was important. I'll love to do that briefing when I meet with Vardair later. For payment. But
and he just Tenfin, and Tenfin kind of looks over. Please, if you would fetch Vardair. And Tenfin nods and goes out of the room. I'm sorry, you were saying.
An idea. JC, I've seen potions that make people bigger, right? I've seen one happen, right?
Pretty sure you have.
At the tournament, he drank something and it made him bigger.
I'm trying to remember who
Johnny did.
Johnny did, yes. Johnny did do that.
I had an idea. I've seen potions that have made individuals bigger. So by metric, there should be something that makes them smaller. Correct? I was
would
thinking,
assume so.
what if we somehow, I'm going to go over to the battle map, force-fed the dragon a potion, and I'm going to run my finger across its body and cut its size in half, or make it smaller.
And you just
Now I'd have to look into these potions, and we'd have to make them, and it may take some time. It could be a month and a half, but...
And as you say month and a half, his brow is kind of darkens. Like, I do not believe we have the time for that.
It's just an idea. It could be a month and a half. We could maybe do it quicker. I have to look into it. But if we are able to concoct this, wouldn't it be so much better if it was smaller?
More room
The
for
issue
the
being,
ship.
getting it in its mouth. It may even be something that we can willingly try to make some time for.
Well,
Pros and cons.
Well,
I'd have to look into it. I'd have to make sure it works. But if it does work and we can reliably shrink it, could you make the time?
I'm not sure if the army to the north can make the time for it, is the grand issue.
I don't know what he means when he says armor to the north.
But what I mean is, from who we have watching of arbiters flashing back and forth from the trees, culling what they can and getting out in guerrilla attacks, the forces are only growing larger. This is a time-sensitive subject, and we do not set the timer anymore.
It's just an idea. I'm going to spend today looking into it to see if we can speed that up.
The date of the attack has been set, and it is bad for morale to shift it, but please, do look into it.
What's
Any
your
advantage
time
is an
frame?
advantage. What has been told to people is, and he kind of scratches aside on a note, and you can look. He's like, it is the today, and he pulls off a sheet. It is the 5th. 10 days. 10 days until
2 work weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Half of a month.
Ah.
If it can happen, we will be most grateful.
How far could you theoretically push that back?
With disregard for the troops' morale, I do not know. I'm set that date as the soonest we'll be able to push in full force. I would rather fight the beast on its turf rather than cause collateral damage to the citizens in the city. If they start making their way south, they will leave a path of destruction. These walls can be flown over. The boundaries are increasing.
But has the dragon itself
Been spotted? No.
the forces growing around the dragon are something you'll have to ask Zex about the specifics of that. I gotta go. I'm gonna go look into this, and I'm gonna just rush out the room and beckon Nime and Suna to follow me.
I guess we'll follow them.
Nime will follow as well. And Zex, unless if you want to follow, you're left in this room.
I'll follow.
All right. So you guys kind of rush out. Gil, I have a feeling I know where you're going. Where are the other 4 people in the group going?
We're going to the herbalist.
Oh.
The only other man in town that I believe could help us, and then Barris afterwards.
Can I want to split off from the group and go to Barris first while Rem is at the herbalist.
I mean, we can do Barris and then the herbalist. I'd rather us all be together with our herbalism proficiency. Just in case we could play something. So if you want to do Barris first.
Barris? Because I don't have the herbalism proficiency.
You guys got your choices.
Man gives me 10.
If you need me at the herbalist, I'll come with.
Just in case, we can do Barris first. We have the whole day. But if we want to start working on it today, this is gonna have to happen before midday.
Okay. I mean, we can do whichever one at first, doesn't matter.
We can drop at Barris's for a little bit and then go to the herbalist, because like I said, this plan might not even work. I don't know how long it's gonna take. Could I guesstimate maybe?
You yourself have not made this kind of potion, so you're gonna have to ask for help of knowledge of this one specifically, as this is also not a potion you've researched.
I know the beginning ones.
You know of them. That's where this idea spawned from. You did not make the beginning one. You have no current time frame.
The beginning ones might be within the realm of something that I'm somewhat aware of.
All right.
I have to look at this really quickly, but go ahead.
Well, we are on the path of you guys to the herbalist, Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
You know where Tyrant is. You know where almost everyone involved in the assault is, as long as they're in the training grounds.
Yeah.
You know that 2 of the arbiters are currently within a bit of a private collection of tomes and are researching basically different techniques and formulas. You know that the Devil Wargs have been given their own courtyard to practice in, and they've been severed off into the 2 groups that you have made, one for the ground, one for air, or no, one above deck, one below deck is I think how you did it.
Yeah.
And then the Skyriders have their own section that is up on on one of the castle battlements as wyverns and dragonels land and take off in maneuvers that kind of soar throughout the entirety of Greywall itself. And Tyron, well, Tyron's helping shape up some of the ground troops. As you step outside, and you can immediately see Tyron slamming a spear aside of a young man with his shield, and just this resounding crack sound as the young man's loose grip just flies out of his hands, and he just goes in and just grabs onto the guy's head, and then just playfully removes the helmet and goes, "Sorry." Pat. I think you need to work on your grip straight. It's not good for me to be able to take things away with just swatting it like a fly. And Tyron walks over, grabs the spear, and flips it over behind, backwards, and then tosses it back to the guy. It's okay, though. We'll work on it. And as the guy kind of splits off to go work with another group of people, you can just see the sweat just kind of glistening off, and you can tell he's probably already been working for hours, and this satisfied smile from his face, as he then turns and sees you, and you can see this hand just kind of go up and wave frantically. He's like, "Hello!" And all of the guys that are working their own groups turn and look for a second, and then seeing who he's loudly addressed, go back to working.
Do they look like a little, like they're working like a little bit harder? Because I mean, I'd like to think that I'm known as like a higher up.
It is that thing of like you, Yenta, Gorin through respect, and then Mortan are people that when walk through, they have a high appraisal for the actual troops, and so anytime a Greywall guard sees you, you can see the shoulders get a little bit more square, the muscles flex a little bit more, but not with Tyron.
Okay.
He's just got this big, stupid grin on his face as he's smiling, his eyes just kind of gleaming at you, as he's turned and completely shut out every other person in this courtyard and just waving at you.
Can I, like, wave him over?
Yeah, and he begins just jogging over. And he's like, it has been a busy morning, I will tell you that. Oh,
Good to hear.
they need to... They do need to hold on to them quite well, but they are getting really good at reaching above their heads, so if something's taller than them, they will be able to hit it.
Tyron...
Yeah.
I spoke with Tara this morning. You didn't tell her that you were gonna be here, did you?
I might have possibly I might have...
Just tell me the truth.
I didn't tell her. Her arm still hurts her sometimes, Gil. You know, she got hurt.
That's the whole problem. I don't know if you're aware, but she stakes so much to make sure she doesn't only stay safe, but you do as well.
She doesn't need to do that. We're a
She's
team.
worried. She's worried, Tyron. Tyron, I'm gonna have to let you go. I'm no longer allowing you on this assault.
But I want to help. I'm good at it.
You're also a good companion.
I
One that's seemingly irreplaceable.
But I could do it. I promise. I won't. I'll be better. And he kind of looks around and he's like,
I'm gonna put both of my hands on his shoulders and like kind of make him look at me.
I'll do
Tyron.
better.
No.
I'll be
You're
better.
doing better is going home. Going and taking care of Tara. I cannot risk your life while she has to sit by, waiting, chancing every single day for your survival.
I'm not gonna die, Gil.
I'm not allowed to take that chance.
Why can't I? I'm strong. I'll prove it to you. I'm worth it. Gil. I want
You
to
are one
help.
of the most capable fighters that I know of. This has nothing to do with how strong nor capable you are. It has to do with the people who still rely on you, care about you. I promised on my life that I would keep you safe. And this is the only way that I can figure out to be able to do that.
It's not fair. Why you get to go out, and you're going to go fight a dragon. I didn't say nothing when you put me on the ground. I know it's important. And you trust me. You trust me to kill. You trust me.
I trust you with most anything I've got. But I have to be able to make sure that you are going to be okay. And putting you out there jeopardizes that. You need to make sure Stera is going to be alright. You're allowed to continue training these soldiers. I will give you that much. Because I do know how capable you are with a weapon in your hands. But I am by no means allowing you to fight. Have a good day, Tyron. And I'm gonna leave. Actually, I'm gonna go find Terra now.
You can see a tear just kind of go, like, not just one tear, like multiple tears just coursing down through one of his eyes as he just turns, and you see as he just kind of shakes himself, slaps the side of his face, goes and wrenches the sword out of the ground where he had previously like stuck it before you had entered, and it crackles with lightning as he yells out this entire thing that makes all of the probably like 70 to 80 troops practicing in this courtyard stop and look at him. And you can see as he begins to angrily just yell things at them as you walk away.
I've ruined this man. I have some very choice things to say to you in about 2 hours. Oh man, you're making me feel bad. I feel terrible right now.
Oh, please let him go. I'll stay on the ground with him. Please let him go. Please, bro, please.
No,
bro,
no,
bro, please.
no.
Bro, please. Bro, please. You gotta let him go. You gotta let him go. I'll stay with him. I'll babysit him. You gotta let him go.
Thing. He is like probably the nicest person here. Objectively, probably one of the nicest.
Bro, I don't even like him. I'll stay with him. Please let him go.
You've just made me crush this man.
Let him go. Let him go. He's gonna go anyway. He's gonna run into combat. You can't stop him. Let him go.
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I'll stay on the ground with him. Put me on the ground.
That's why I'm going to talk with Terra.
Put me on the ground, boss. I have AoE. I'll handle it. Please.
Oh my god.
You're gonna make me start crying out here. Goodness.
Oh, I heard some of you. You ain't fucking slick.
I'll divine intervention for him, please.
No.
I'll roll right now. I can't.
You can't.
He has been honorably discharged.
Oh, then I'm not going.
No, like hell you aren't.
Yeah. Do it without him, do it without me. Let's see how that goes.
Package deal, baby.
You've never supported Tyron before this, but this makes you break. This makes you break like a fucking wet piece of spaghetti. Just.
I saved his life once. I can do it again.
Al dente. All right. And as Gil walks out, smash cut to the door of Logden's shop opening. As the bell kind of rings, and all of you see Zex, Nime, Suna, Rem, as you step in to the herbalist's shop. You can smell this kind of smoke back through, and his table is empty. But you can hear this bubbling sound, the crackle of fire, and the tinks of glass coming from behind in where you could only assume is a small like work area.
Do we recognize the smoke? There's 3 of us here.
There's 3 of you. Well, he is not making healing potions. You can tell that.
And do I know anything else? You said like I can make up to uncommon with ingredients that I can find in town.
You know, I will allow you, since you're you're thinking about it. You can make a intelligence with proficiency check.
Boom. 19?
19. The smoke in the air is a common leftover of burning some sort of intense elemental energy into a potion. This is very common with a dragon breath potion, resistance potions, things of that nature. And as you guys actually go in, you can just see one side of this like gaunt face with the hair still back in a knotted ponytail just kind of peek over. Kind of, you see the right eye just kind of acknowledge all of you, look around, and then just... But I literally don't think... Actually, it would be Rem and Zex, because he actually rolled really high on his stealth. That see the eye and then him go back, and you hear the clinks kind of resume as he just goes back to working. You guys are just left in the front of his shop.
I can come back there and help you, or you can come up here and help us. Which would you prefer?
Never come into the back of my shop.
I thought it was
just kind
disrespectful.
of slides out, and you can see the gaunt human man, reddish hair back in the ponytail, this slight bit of stubble that has grown in, and he's, how can I help you?
Okay. Follow me
Okay.
on this, right? You know what's going on. I'm assuming that's what you're making that stuff back there for, right?
Got an order from one of the ambassadors.
Okay, do you know what it's for?
Potions.
Okay. There are potions that make people grow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So by virtue, there should be some that make them shrink, right?
Where's the end of this road?
I need one that makes them shrink within 2 weeks.
He just kind of leans in. That's
I'm going to gently slide my royal seal onto the desk and tell him, I also have red drake parts at home.
First of all, making things smaller does take time. I have stuff lying around. I mean,
We have 2 weeks. I can help you make it, but we have 2 weeks, 10 days.
I could do it if there was 100 or 10 of me.
What about 4?
would take 25 days for 4. It's not easy. We have to go slow. Aren't you magic? Why don't you just...
It has to be like this because the effect has to be something that they can't save against. Why would it only shave off 5 days?
What do you mean shave off 5 days?
To make a rare potion, it takes 5 work weeks.
A rare healing potion?
A rare potion in general. From the table that you gave me, it says rare items to create take 10 weeks and 2,000 gold pieces, and all of that is halved for consumable items like potions or scrolls. Or it just says the work weeks and cost are halved. So it should take 5 work weeks.
So this is the crafting.
It's in let me.
Well, I know what book it is. Okay, I might have pulled. Okay, I did pull up the wrong sheet. Let me rephrase, because it does change a bit. Okay. So it is. It does go to 5. You're right. I was looking at the wrong sheet. I'll show you the wrong sheet later. But just trust me, it was a long sheet. That's why it took me a bit.
It's perfectly fine. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page.
You got it good.
Here.
I was looking at page 128 of a wrong book, which still had creating a magic item on it. But so what he gives you, 5 work weeks, which is 30 days to do.
With 4 people now.
So that would just be 30 divided by 4. And the cost of it is 1,000 gold pieces. And you have blood left, right?
Yes.
And blood would be the needed ingredient.
I have blood of both the storm and the red.
He'd say similarities to what you're going for are better.
So
red
for the shrinking with the red, okay.
I take it I'm just adding this onto their tab. Again, it's just kind of pulling out. You've seen plenty of crafting materials, but you can see these long, thin, purple leaves that he pulls out and begins wrapping around his wrists and like stretching, and you see it stretch like an elastic band almost. And you can see this kind of juice begin to drip out, which he catches in a bowl. He's like, I'll prepare. I just won't be able to get the rest of that order done.
What's the rest of the order?
Resistance potions.
What if we work double time?
I mean...
It's 8 hours, 8 hours. We sleep for the rest 8. We do nothing but work and sleep. What can we do?
I will say mechanically that would provide... That's not sustainable to do. I would say any day that you work double, it would be a... any day that would be double, it would be a level of exhaustion.
So we could do a level with
exhaustion. You could do it 4 days in a row, technically.
And then when you have a level of exhaustion, when you take a full long rest, it only takes off 1 level, right? It doesn't completely reset.
It does not. So if you worked on 1 day double and then 1 day not, it would just be trading it back and forth. You could do, well, it would make a difference. It would help you. It's just how many exhaustion things would you hit when you hit that timeline?
We wouldn't be able to be exhausted by the end of the 10 days. The 3 of us wouldn't be able to do that.
That's up to you guys.
we can't go into combat exhausted. It won't work. I could fix the exhaustion every day and take us one back, but that's another cost component that I just don't think is worth it. So if we all work regular time, what can we do?
Well, he is in this. He has 2 more resistance potions to make, as in, like, he is, and you're seeing Yenta's timeline kind of pull into this. Like, at the end of the 10 days, he's finished the resistance potions that he's been ordered to make, and among other things that you'll probably find out throughout these 10 days. But he has 2 of those. Completing 2 of those by himself will take 10
6
days. 10 days with him, not working overtime.
Would it be 10 days?
Yeah, they're 2 uncommon potions.
And an uncommon
Takes
item
1 work week for a
cut
potion.
in half.
For a potion, 1 uncommon potion is 1 work week. 1 uncommon item is 2 work weeks.
Okay.
1 work
Yes.
week, 10 days for 2. I have
my math
I
is
have
off
that
on this.
sheet.
You got it. You got
See,
it.
I'm no longer using that chart. I'm using my sheet of what's getting done in those 10 days now. There's a
It's-
difference. I'm on top
it's
of that
fine.
shit.
It's fine. But to make the shrinking one and finish his order with the 4 of us, could we do it in 2 weeks?
We could see. So it would take, for the potion, to refer to that graph again, because it is a rare, it would take 5 work weeks to do. That was 25 days.
Yes.
25 days divided by the 4 of you would be 6 days. 7 days, actually, but you could do it without doing any overtime.
So could he get his potions done
Could
and do ours, or
I think what he would probably do is he would probably relegate you guys onto finishing those 2 uncommon potions as he works on the rare, since he's the one that has the recipe and know-how.
but we could do it then. We could do everything we need to.
There's a possibility, yeah.
I'm gonna send a quick sending spell to Yenta, and I'll mark off the 3rd level slot. Might need extra week with time crunch. Would only have 1 shot on top of your current orders. Let me know what you can do. 25.
And there's the pause. Work as if you only had the 10. But I'll see what can be done. And that's it.
They'll reimburse me. How do you feel about double time? I'll keep you in tip-top shape. And I'll throw in those other Drake parts.
Do.
I'll shake his hand. So the Drake parts,
Gnome
the
hand
Drake
clasp
parts
human.
I'm giving him are the rest of the red Drake parts. So the heart and the 2 eyes.
All right. He doesn't know about the Storm Drake, so.
There he goes.
Sick. And with that, I believe we have a character thing for Gil, maybe one for Suna if she wants to.
I'll be back.
Suna?
Yeah, I have a couple of things I need to do.
All right. So as Rem's discussing this, Suna can kind of slip out. Where are you going?
I'm gonna go to Barris' shop.
Easy enough to do as you head up the streets of people busy and vibrant. The only difference is now with dates kind of going along, and you hearing from Yenta himself, 10 days. Man, time feels a little bit fast right now. As you head to the Spectral Allies. As you arrive, the soft ding that you've become slightly accustomed to rings out, and you can see Barris actually standing fully up in this nice, like, blue kind of, like, buttoned shirt that goes down into, like, black pants as she's leaning over Zivin, the small elven boy who's hunched over a paper with one, like, a quill drawing across with one hand, and then right off to the right of him is a mage hand holding another quill drawing on another piece of paper. You can see the fierce concentration, and then as soon as the bell rings, he looks up, and the mage hand disappears, and it hits the ground. Ah! And Barris kind of stands and smiles. Hello, dear. It's a pleasure to see you. Please, come inside.
How are you?
Mostly reacquainted. I'm getting everything under control, and people slowly but surely are beginning to come back and peruse. Magic stores are always slow, though. You know that.
Yeah.
But how may I help you, dear?
I was wondering if you had like a small jewelry box with a magic lock of some sort.
Oh, of course. Most of my things are magically locked, and she, like, goes over to one of the cabinets behind the counter, and she taps and pulls on it, and you watch, like, this green of her type of energy lock appear, and she kind of smiles, and then she kind of almost, like, twitches her hand in a way, and then the cabinet just opens. It's quite rudimentary for me. You looking for something, dear? Or are you trying to store something?
Yeah, just something small to store, some like family trinkets and whatnot.
A family trinket? Is this a ring or a necklace?
A necklace.
Necklace, all right. Please make a deception check.
Really, I gotta do it for this?
I mean, you're lying. She has passives,
like,
you know.
That's fair. I mean, I beat it anyway. 26.
26. Yeah. She's like, oh, that should be fine. I know. And she kind of goes in the back for a second as Zivin's just kind of like sitting there, kind of like half-heartedly scratching on the paper now that Barris isn't watching him. And then a couple of minutes later, Barris comes back and she's holding this deep crimson box, about the size of both of your hands spread out, as she kind of smiles. I assume that you'd want this locked to you.
Yeah.
Would you mind giving me your hand, dear?
I'll throw my right hand. Quick side note. Mm-hmm. This will fit. The rock will fit inside this.
It does look like the rock would fit in it. You might need to remove, like, if it has one of those things that puffs up the box. But if you remove that, the rocks will fit in just nice. She takes your hand, your palm just kind of crosses on hers, and she kind of laces her hand in, and with your hand taps it, and you watch the green energy curl out and form a lock that then disappears. And then, as that finishes, she just rests your hand on the box. That should work.
How long until Rem gets here?
You have no idea.
I'm assuming Rem's coming here right after the herbalist.
Mm-hmm, but he was still discussing with the herbalist, and so you have no idea when he actually will come here.
Bummer.
Is that everything you needed, dear?
Yeah. I might, if you don't mind, I might need to wait a moment. Rem is supposed to be meeting me here soon.
For what? Does he need something as well?
I think he needs something as well, but he has the money right now.
And she kind of smiles and, well, and your hand, which is resting on the box, she kind of scoops the box and turns your hand over. Let's just not worry about that for now. I'm full-heartedly trusting you. There's no rush. You've done plenty for me in the recent. And so this would be a nice thing that I could do for you in the present. I promise you, it's not that much.
Okay.
You just waiting there to see if Rem comes?
So she's just letting me take the box?
It seems so.
Where did I put my pencil? Shit.
That's what
I
happens
guess
when NPCs are kind.
I guess I won't wait for Rem then. Man, now you're making me feel shitty for lying to this woman. Fuck.
That's what happens when NPCs start to trust you, man.
I know.
You
I'm going
just
to
watch Alpha eat proverbial shit right like 20-30 minutes before this.
Stop. I don't want to.
I know.
Don't bring it up. Don't. Stop.
So,
You might not be crying anymore, but Tyron sure is.
I'm
You're
going
making me feel bad. I swear to God.
I'm going to thank Ferris and say goodbye. I'm gonna head back to the keep.
All right. And with that,
And I have things to do there whenever we can do that.
okay. Does anyone want to do something before that's resolved?
I had no real reason to go to Paris, you know. I have no business there at the current moment. I have to. We've got 10 days. I've got to get money from Vardair. I've got to run to the jeweler. Like,
Well,
I don't have time. Like, I could stop in for a friendly hello.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm alive. Goodbye.
we can.
You said you needed to stop in.
I was gonna stop because you were stopping.
So if you guys want to, because I have a feeling this is going to go, unless if there is anything that needs to get into the details, sound off.
I mean, I have my thing, but I think that's already been accounted for.
Yes, I know that you're going to do that.
Okay, I just make sure.
I was giving you some time, you know.
I have to pick up pieces, get money from Vardair. I want to brief them on the Seven Ascended situation.
All right,
I'll leave Zex to do that, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, I can do that.
That will be.
And then
that can be the Seven Ascended thing. Can be the whole thing when you guys can go and meet up with Vardair.
We have 10 days, like, counting today or not counting today.
Basically, he said the plan is to go on the 15th. It's the 5th.
Yeah, so 10, like, I'm in a rush. I gotta get these.
I'm pretty sure a lot of you are in the rush. So
Really quickly though, just to really confirm, because this is a question I did want to ask the herbalist. If I use this to give it to someone unwillingly, it would shrink them, and they would stay shrunk. Correct?
Absolutely.
So
You
this
just
can
have
be
to-
unwillingly administered.
As long as you force them to drink it, you can spit things out.
It's a bit different when you're larger.
I mean, I guess, but then it's a lot harder for someone to reach into your mouth.
I know, guy. Don't ask,
Okay.
but don't even worry about it. I know a guy. Pleasure doing business with you, though.
I'm gonna start working on the base potion. You guys come back, and we'll get business done. And he just kind of begins straining these purple leaves.
I just have to let the Vardar know that he's eating the cost of this too.
Oh, well, that can be when you meet him.
Yeah.
So-
So that's all my specifics.
I'm-
Two gills. and then
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
work out.
gonna set this stuff of specifics that are going to happen. Suna, whatever Suna's doing at the keep right now, then Gil, and then all of you will kind of meet back up for Vardar's debriefing, where both the reward gets administered, as well as briefing can happen. So, Suna, you arrive back at the keep.
So the tower is done.
The tower finished.
Finally.
As there is a beautiful thing next to the wooden stairs of stone stairs spiraling upwards in a standard thing, and then ending in a circular room, maybe slightly bigger because it's a circle, maybe slightly less big. It's a tower room. I don't know
Okay.
I don't know what else to let you know. It's a tower room.
Is there anything currently in the room, like a desk or?
It is unfurnished because they were constructing it. They were not.
Okay. So is there like a flat ceiling, or is it the cone ceiling?
It is a cone ceiling. It was made in the style of traditional battlement towers. Also, you did not
Does
provide
my-
specification.
I did not. Does my room have a flat ceiling?
Your room has like rafters going across it, and so if you laid wood there, you'd be able to have a flat ceiling, but currently no.
Okay.
And so, just to give you guys a bit of a thought about it, although the room itself, it's just a kind of detached thing, that staircase is what leads up to it, the stone one that you can see. And then, let there be light.
Cool.
And it literally just leads up to that.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back down to my room,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to take out the box that I just got from Barris, and I'm going to carefully take the rock out of my bag and put it inside the box.
Easy enough to do. You do have to take out the insert.
That's fine. I mean,
But easy enough to do, and it clasps shut, and you can just feel the you can feel it of just the arcane energy that Barris had bestowed, and in using your hand as kind of a component of it, designated you as the person who can open it.
okay. So I would like to. Is there like a bigger drawer in the desk, or like?
There's a large
like
enough
there's
door. There's a large enough drawer in the desk for you to slide this into.
Is there enough room to like put something on top to like cover it in the drawer?
Yeah, you could take some of the empty loose parchments on top of it and put it in as like an over.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right.
And then I would like to open the window and put the little mechanical dragon in the window.
Oh, yeah.
I
Easy enough.
think
You think?
I think a specific someone will know might know what to do with that.
All right.
And that's everything I have for now.
Okay. And with that, Gilgamesh,
What?
where do you go and look for your friend Terra?
I mean,
Where do you go?
the one place that it seems I can always find her. I'm gonna go to the Mages Guild.
All right. And as you head there, you open the door, and there is a half-elf woman sitting at the desk, reading. As she kind of looks up, Jaylene gives you a nod and a warm smile, but you're not focusing on that. What you're focusing on is your eyes drift over to the meal hall section.
Actually,
Empty.
so then I'll ask
Mhm.
Jaylene. I'll ask to see if Tara's been in.
Yes, Tara came back. Is she all right? She looked a little shaken. If it's not my business, it's not my business, but... You know.
Just some slight complications with the event coming up.
Oh.
I just need to find her again, really.
You don't need to baby me, Gil. Everyone's worried about that. I just, they live under my roof and I try to take care of them. Best I can.
It's respectable.
She's in her room.
JC, do I know which one that is?
I
feel like I might have taken a note about it somewhere.
I'm not. Hers, it was identifiable not because. Hers was identifiable not because she identified it.
It's next to Tyron.
But because it's next to Tyron's. Tyron's is identifiable. He's got little knickknacks hanging from there, little marks of where you've seen he's accidentally slammed his toe or hit his forehead on the door or the frame moving through. Shoulder checked himself. But
that feels about right.
But Tara's is next to it in plain. And so you head up, and you find yourself, Gilgamesh, standing in front of a plain door, next to a door with too much character. What would you like to do?
I'll just... Do I know? How many times did she knock on my door this morning?
Believe 3.
I'll give her 3 knocks back.
You can hear this sound of wood creaking and then hoofed steps on floor. and then just a pause where all sound kind of goes out. Make a perception check for me.
It'll be real embarrassing if this ain't her room. Oh, you said perception?
Perception.
Ooh,
Ooh.
21.
21.
I'm feeling perceptive.
What you hear ever so softly is the door creak and shift, like someone is leaning against it.
Like she's listening?
Either listening or just leaning against the door.
Why in the world would she be leaning against the door?
You don't have a bad day and just lean against the door sometimes?
No! I lean against other things, but not usually my door. I guess I'll just sit and wait a little longer and see what happens.
Okay. Do you go and lean against the other side of the wall? Do you just sit
No.
down? What do you do?
I mean, so I'll let like a minute pass, and if nothing happens,
Are you just standing in front of the door then?
yeah, I'm just kind of like standing waiting, and like a minute passes, and I'll just give like 2 more light knocks.
Well, it's one of those things where like you're about to knock and then the door opens.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Oof.
Ugh.
Got him good.
Yikes.
And in this doorway, you can just see the deflated form of Tara. And she kind of looks at you.
You have a second?
Of course.
And same as her, I'll brush my way inside.
And she closes the door, leans against it.
I'm gonna offer her like a hand, kind of like so I can like, in a way, like escort her to her bed so she can like actually sit down.
She like looks at your hand, and in like a flash of her normal nature kind of going through, she like raises an eyebrow at you, takes your hand, and you guys walk over, and she like kind of sits down. Are you here to tell me something else I don't know?
He's no longer allowed to fight. I've discharged him from the assault. I found this to be the best way without jeopardizing the current plan that we have in place. This felt like the only way to truly keep my promise.
And she sits there, not looking at you, just kind of looking across at the wall, taking in something. Because despite how short that statement was, the contents of it are too much to process in such a short time. And so she takes her moment, kind of swallows dryly. Have you told him, or are you just telling me first to make me feel better?
He's been made aware. But As you and I can both imagine, he is...
Heartbroken.
Seems like the best way to put it. I've allowed him to continue training the troops because, I mean, quite frankly, he's more than qualified to be able to do that, but until further notice, he's not allowed to join the assault. I've yet to inform Yenta, but I don't think that there's much of a way he can disagree with me. And if he does, I'll figure it out, but all I need you to do is just take care of yourself, but take care of him as well.
It's still settling in. I don't know what to say.
I think the only things left to be said are things to him. I'll make sure things get squared away with Yenta and make sure that he is not going to be out there. But I'm going to need your help to do that as well.
I'll talk to him. He's not gonna want to listen, but I'll talk to him. I know he had every reason to want to do this. He's a better person than I could ever hope to be. I wish I wasn't so selfish.
I don't think it's being selfish. It's a codependence in a way. You without him doesn't work, and vice versa. I've gotten close to know what it's like to lose someone you've become somewhat accustomed to, and it's not something I'd want to see you go through.
I should feel guilty, but I'm not. I feel nothing but relief. And I should feel bad. I know he'll hate me. He'll hate both of us.
Put the blame on me.
You don't deserve that. I'm just as much, if not more, to blame.
I hate to say it, but I think you two need each other more than him and I need each other. He's allowed to hate me. I mean, I've barely known the guy. but
I know. When people fight alongside each other, it creates a bond stronger than any blood or conversation. That's why Tyron and I have become so close. We've adventured together and scoured the wilds for years. He does look up to you. I will take his anger. I will take the hate he has in his heart. I'll be grateful that he has the heart to hate me with. I am allowed to sate my selfishness for now. Thank you. And she just rests her forehead on your shoulder. Like, you could just kind of feel these, like, slow, like, just racks of emotion. And before, it was anger and sadness and beginning of grief, of believing what's to come. And now it is only relief. Selfish relief, but relief nonetheless. And you can take pride in the fact that you were able to give her that.
At least I was able to make somebody's day better. I'll slowly, kind of put my arms around her. Give her a soft embrace.
Okay. With that, we're going to hold that there. With a bit of a pulling back from that, of this moment of joint relief and care for someone that means something to both of you in different ways. For one, a dear friend. For other, a near brother. And now, however long that lasts, eventually, Gil, you do, knowing you do have to get back to what work there is, step away and head towards the castle. Suna, feeling that you need to regroup with them, and remembering Rem's words about needing to collect and inform Varder, you head towards the castle as well.
Okay.
Zex and Rem, Nime, the three of you also make your way towards. And as Gil makes his way back... Mm-hmm.
On the way to the castle, and then once we are like inside and kind of being moved through to like whatever room we're going to be in, I'd like to see if I can spot Roxy at all.
Okay. You can make a perception check. While you're rolling that, Gil, you can see Suna on your way back, and you two meet together. And then as you two are closer, you guys arrive first and are taken to an off-shooting meeting room. When Rem, Zex, and Nime get there, they are shuttled into the same thing. As Rem and Zex and Nime, you guys see Gil and Suna already waiting. And as the five of you...
Five.
Nice. I'm not gonna honor that with anything.
Yeah, I know.
As the five of
I
you
even
are in
rolled
there.
this shit with the gay dice. This feels awful.
Ooh, that's how you
It's
know.
on
That's how
brand.
you know. And as you go in there, you five are all together in one room, able to speak aloud, and you have all been informed that Varder is arriving soon.
So wait, did I not? I didn't. I'm assuming I didn't see Yenta anywhere on my way.
No, you did not see
No.
Yenta on your way, but you were told that you
Forge.
needed to be in here first.
Yeah. Okay.
But the five of you are in this room. If there's anything, you guys are all just waiting for Varder at this point.
So we cleared out the crypt below we cleared out the crypt below Dentor, and we fought cultists.
That doesn't seem too bad.
We also ran into one of the Seven Ascended.
Is this room protected? Can I look for runes?
It doesn't matter anymore. They know now. It doesn't matter anymore.
Which one did you run into?
I'll let him check for his rooms before I continue.
Zex, you're able to make an Arcana check.
It's gonna be a 14, I think.
14. As you look around for where you've seen runes before, you can see like some trace things, although they're very not omnipresent in this room. You've seen other rooms in here, like when you were in a room with the second time after the time where you were seen with the High King and Queen. That one was pot-marked with a bunch of runes, and when you were in the war room, that was pot-marked with a bunch of runes. This one, there's like, I wouldn't say tasteful, but like around like 2 runes for each corner of the room.
More like decorative than actually serving
they
a
seem
purpose.
to serve a purpose, but it isn't. You'd get a brief thing that might not be as heavily protected as other rooms, but there is some level of protection.
Oh, I'm not using any other spells today, so I'll just true seeing real quick just to make sure.
All right. You spend the money to true see, and there is nothing.
Okay,
Besides
I'll
what you
keep
already
an eye out
know.
while we keep talking.
Besides what you already know about. Of course.
Of course.
Feel free to keep the conversation going then.
Are you content, Zax?
For now, there's nothing. I'll keep an eye out.
Let me know. We ran into the Celestial one, Hawkot. It seemed that he had been trapped there. Above a great chasm of which offerings could be made in return for something. It seems that they were using his blood in return for something that we as a whole just haven't been able to see. I'm assuming that it was for the destruction of the town and surrounding areas, but it appeared that we had intervened within enough time. So they had nothing physical that we could notice before being dispatched.
And where's Papihos now?
Hawkot disappeared after making some statements to Suna, I guess. And Zex asked them a question that I didn't quite understand. But after that, they left.
Suna?
Yo.
What are these supposed things that Papihos was telling you about?
Um. It 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 wasn't really anything. Nothing of importance.
Fair enough.
Sooner wouldn't lie to me. I'm not going to make an insight of any kind.
And so is the city saved, if you'd like to say that?
Yes.
Theoretically, the big gaping hole is still down there.
The big gaping hole was also something that I don't think was inherently the problem.
Did you make offerings?
Yes.
Some more than others.
I'm gonna pull the needle out of my bag. I got this pretty cool needle out of a haystack.
I'll pull out my
So-
porcelain plate.
So you two decided to throw things down a hole that one of the Sevens Ascended was chained up over, and thought that that would be a good idea.
I informed them not to, but after his initial offerings, I decided to test the assessment myself. I determined that it was not of any inherent danger, but I did seal up the tomb just to be sure.
After you've had your playtime with it.
After I reached a comfortable meter, yes. No more, no less. The first few times were okay, and I elected not to continue to push that point. It wasn't worth it. We got away scot-free long enough, so
You'd
I
like
decided
to
to leave it
think.
be.
You got away scot-free. There is
You
no
know,
way
you're-
to know.
There's no way of knowing in any capacity. We investigated to completion, the whole way through, in ways you can't even begin to fathom.
Well, quite frankly, I can't fathom Rem giving into peer pressure by Zax, but that happened, so...
It wasn't
peer pressure.
more so
Investigation, as you like to put it.
not
A
even
good way
It
to
was him
investigation.
using me as a
situation.
guinea pig until he determined that it was probably safe for him to also throw crap in there.
It's not safe. I wouldn't allow anything within the pit that was not a mundane item, of which only relatively mundane items were addressed.
Relatively?
Relatively, they were magical in nature, but by virtue mundane. You have no say-so in the matter. You weren't within the crypt as we were. You had received some of the worst treatment from it. You did not see what we saw. You were not afflicted upon
Was I
the
not?
mind by its virtues. Your mind was not rotten by its air. You didn't see what it was. I made an informed decision as someone that pushed us towards it. And if my decision comes to hold a negative consequence later, then so be it. I will bear the burden of tossing a copper coin into a chasm. I could have stopped him at any time.
And with that,
Right.
the door opens. And in walks Vardare, this purple vest kind of covering this green this green inner layer that it resides over. And behind him, a couple servants in Greywall, one carrying this case, and then the other one just kind of like walking beside them. It's a pleasure to see all of you in good standing. I assume that you've come with good news, as I was approached about grabbing Triton's reward. Am I mistaken?
Some good news, some bad news.
Oh.
We dealt with the problem that was under Dentor.
Wonderful. Triton has left the last of his treasury to the reward. And he kind of like moves his hand, and the servant with the case comes forward. Now, I am no fool, as these are precious gems in this case. However, Dentor had a bit of a hoarding issue with its last heir that Triton was holding on to, so they are gems of one type. However, although we are, per se, low on gems of this type in Greywall, we do have an abundance of other types. So, as I know that you are magic casters, and gems may be worth more than the inherent value of them, I have talked to and gotten approved and have the permission to inform you that if you wish to trade the same value of gems of any amount for different types that you may need for components or otherwise, you are welcome to. But, and he claps and the servant opens his case, and you see it is full of diamonds.
Yeah.
Ah.
So, how this
So that
goes
was a
mechanically.
thinly veiled thing towards.
Mm-hmm.
As this goes mechanically, there are 12 diamonds in here. If you want to trade those for any other type of gem, you are able to. There are 12 1,000 gold piece diamonds.
What if you're somebody who doesn't use gems and or need them?
Before I
Then you can use them for gold piece value.
inordinately push my opinion towards this situation.
This is for you
Have
guys to
you-
decide.
Have you decided, will stone shape allow me to augment the value of a diamond?
You
That
guys
is a
start
choice that
talking
has to
among
be made
yourselves.
right now.
You guys start
Before
talking
we make
among
that decision.
you guys start talking as I read through the spell description, but you guys can start talking right now. Wow, there's a lot of talking.
We will put
Crazy amount of
the
talking.
amount of monetary assignment to the side because there's a few things regarding that. There is a bit of a debriefing to go towards the Dentor incident.
Oh,
I will
goodness.
be fully transparent in saying that I had a personal reason for going there, but in that aspect, something there happened that was not so much my personal, but more towards something Zep has an interest in. And outside of saying that we have resolved the issue, he will provide the debriefing for Dentor.
So what are you trying to shape it into? Are you just trying to cut them in half?
Yes. Could I take a 400 and a 200 and make a 600? Like, could I fuse them? Could I separate them? What can I do with their apparent physical value?
So you're talking about using stone shape.
Yes.
Stone shape does not allow you to separate stuff. It allows you to make a single object out of it. So you would have to like physically break the diamonds apart. So you could, in theory,
I could break
make
them apart and then
1,000.
use another spell slot to put them together.
Stone shape does not put them together.
Stone shape is area based.
Stone shape is you touch a stone object of medium size or smaller, or a section of stone no more than 5 feet in any dimension, but it is one singular thing, and form it into any shape that suits your purpose. A weapon, idol, coffer, or you could make a passage. So you can't separate or form it together, but you could form it into something else, is what Storm Shape is.
Could he increase the value by changing the cut of the diamond?
That's outside of the specifics. I can only make something intricate enough up to 2 hinges.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't go that farther.
Finer detail is not possible.
I could cut it directly in half, but I couldn't go beyond that for the diamond. So the thousands I could cut in half, but I could put some other ones together.
I will say, not putting together into larger, but you could
make them dust.
Make them smaller.
But for the thousands, could I cut them in half to make 2 500?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay, so I can only break down into smaller components. I can't build up into higher components.
Yes.
Okay.
But it is a thing of technically in this case,
I'm busy, go.
Any stone is on the table. Any type is on this table, but it is something that you guys can decide between yourselves.
Just stone, as it goes.
And like, if you wanted, instead of a 1,000 diamond, you could get 1,000 jade piece, or 1,000 opal, or 1,000 sapphire, or 1,000 ruby. But 12 1,000 gold piece gems are what the reward is. And I will say, if you guys wish, you can have Vardair hold on to it, because I know Jazz isn't here, and whether she wants to be in part of that conversation. And you guys can, anytime, I assume before when you guys hit the 15th and start gunning for it, come and pick them up. So you guys can have some time to mull it over. But there is 12,000 gold pieces worth of gems to figure out. With that, Vardair has the servant clasp the case closed, and well, that sounds like wonderful good news all across the board. I don't understand.
How secure is this room?
Secure from idle eyes. And he snaps, and the servants kind of nod, and they kind of exit.
So, one of the 7 Ascended was actually down there.
Excuse me.
Chain...
Excuse me for a moment. Shit. You're sure?
Yes.
Give me as many details as you can, and I'll relay them to the High King.
Sounds good. So, there was a group of cultists under Dentor, with one of the 7 Ascended chained up over a large pit.
Mm-hmm.
They were using a large sickle to cut him and drop his blood into the pit, causing tremors, and we're assuming all of the other effects that were happening to Dentor. Once we had defeated the cultists, we were not necessarily aware at that moment that he was one of the 7, and so we initiated a conversation, eventually realized at which point he freed himself, it felt like kind of being toyed with, and then he left.
Forgive me. If this sounds brash or uncaring, do you think he is involved with the dragon?
No.
Probably wouldn't hurt to mention that he can infiltrate the mind and talk to you in your mind. It seems to know things that he would have no ability to know otherwise.
We will record that. The world is full of poor timings, is it not? I will inform the king, but our minds must stay on the task at hand. If any more details come to your mind, feel free to tell me. I will inform the king, but we will start sweating about that after we no longer have to sweat about a dragon.
Fair enough.
I will leave you all to your devices. I have a busy couple of weeks ahead of me. He bows and begins walking off and opens the door, looks back one last time at all of you, nods, and you can see now his brow is like beginning to sweat as he just kind of wipes his brow, puts it off on his vest, and just walks out of the door. And the 5 of you are left alone.
I'm gonna follow quickly behind him to go and find Yenta.
All right.
I'm assuming I know where he is. I mean, it can't be
I think you
hard.
know where he is. I think you can
I think
say
I know where he is.
It's 2 words. It starts with a W. Wash closet. You've got it.
Oh man, there it is.
Good job.
But Gil heads off to the war room or strategy room. Nime is going to take the flare gun and charges and look it over, get acquainted with it. The 3 of you, where are you guys going, if anything? You gonna go? What's up?
I'm just headed back to the keep. I don't have anything else to do right now. I'm pretty sure we're gonna die to this dragon anyway, so.
Such little faith in my plan.
I'll head back to the keep. Can I re-roll perception? Or
Sure. I will allow you to re-roll perception.
on the way back?
Suna's down bad right now. Goodness.
18.
Oh,
18.
I'll use the
not
mushroom
bad.
this time.
You are just kind of looking through, and there's a lot of people moving through these halls. However, you're seeing people move by in like plain clothes, and you can distinguish the guard from the servants from like other people that have been called in for this. But there is one person in plain servant clothes, which you kind of recognize the lower section as the hood is pulled up high over them. And then as soon as this person kind of clocks you, you just see this small wicked grin come out from underneath it. And then as you blink, you can just see them turn around a corner as the rest of you are all just walking out.
Yeah, I couldn't mouth something at her.
If you wanted to. She was looking at you.
I want to mouth, meet me on my roof.
Okay.
And then we'll just continue on.
All right. And finally,
Down
Rem,
tremendous.
are you heading somewhere?
I stepped away for a second, but I wanted to go over the potion idea that I have with them.
With
the group as a whole, the idea of the potion being used to shrink the dragon.
we can have that discussion right before everyone parts.
That was just the thing I wanted to go over with the meeting, but after the meeting, if nothing else is going on, I'll go to the keep to pick up the pieces that I offered to Logden, and then I'm gonna go to him to start on the potions we need to get done.
Okay.
They also had to let Vardera know that the royals were eating a certain amount of cost.
Okay. That can be done as he just kind of nods and kind of thinks to himself, sighs, and I need to fill some paperwork, and goes. But where this is all of you part ways. As Gil heading to a war room with two people having weighed on his mind for much of the day. Nime, a new toy to play with. Suna, a person in the back of her mind. Zex, with a looming creature occupying his mind. And Rem, a plan boiling. You all move in your own separate, unique ways to deal with the looming threat that in 10 short days may be happening. And that's where we're going to end the session.
Fuck.
Thank you everybody so much for watching. Thank you, Same Kate, for subscribing. Hell yeah.
Sub-pog.
Thank you so
Hell
much for
yeah.
supporting. Thank you so much, Artcraft, for being here in the chat. Thank you so much for a while back, Blastoderm, for the follow. If you guys aren't followed on Twitch, make sure you're following. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed so you can see the VODs. The YouTube is down in the description of the Twitch VOD, and the Twitch is in the description of the YouTube VOD. Ooh.
Whoa.
That's how that works. Thank you so much for Helminia, James, Suzanne, Alpha, and in absentia Jazz for being a part of this story. It can get a little rough sometimes, and I appreciate you guys holding on. As soon as the stream turns off, I have a feeling Alpha will have words with me. But
I'm so mad right now. I'm feeling so many different emotions.
Wow.
I'll stay on the ground with him. Let him go.
No, I can't.
I'll stay on the ground with him.
I already told him he could, and I already told Tara he wasn't going.
If you tell Tara I'll be on the ground, I guarantee she'll let him go. I saved his life once, didn't I?
No, I can't.
I
There's
saved
more.
his life and her life.
There's a very good reason that I'm not letting you do that.
He'll feel
very
bad.
good reason.
No, let him go. He wants to go. At least let him like start pushing inwards. At least let him be like part of the. Let him do something. Let him give him purpose.
He is. He has great purpose right now. He's training the troops to go and fight in the fight that he's not going to be in.
Why does Tara dictate his fate?
I was actually thinking about that, and I do have a good reason for that as well.
What
Oh
is
my
their
god!
relation?
If nothing
I'm,
else,
missing
I
some
want
some of this.
so badly to do like a Q&A thing. So badly of you guys asking me questions I can't answer, because I can do stuff like those kind of questions are things I can answer. But I don't know. I don't know if you guys could be refrained from asking the sweeping questions, and me being like, "I'm sorry, I can't say that." But thank you, everybody. Just to end this off before you guys catch more of an earful. Thank you again. The 4 of you that are here, the 5 of you that continue to be here. So much love and support. I can't believe that we're able to do this. It's amazing. And to everyone watching, even if you're not in the chat or in the comments, the fact that there are more people than I'd expect here is amazing. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video or stream. Take care and have a wonderful night. Goodbye.